Am I the a-hole for leaving a dinner party after a girl sat on my husband's lap? I'm still so shook with everything, so sorry for my rambling. My husband Jake and I have been married for 3 years, and from the beginning he was very close with his best friend's sister Cindy, 18 female. Well, my husband would often talk about her and tell how he had seen her grow up throughout the years. Cindy is always very bubbly and seems very fond of Jake as well. I remember when we were dating, she would ask to come along on our dates a lot. I never really said anything as I liked spending time with her as well. She was a little sister to me. When we announced our engagement, she asked my husband to better not forget her after being a married man and to still hang out with her. Well, we got married and I have made her my bridesmaid. Soon we moved to a different state and kind of lost contact. Now Jake's best friend came to stay with us for some time, and Cindy came along as well. Now, the moment she saw us, the first thing she said was how hot my husband has gotten, and she was glad he didn't look like those boring married men. Then through their stay, Cindy would just ignore my presence and would be way too close with Jake. I told Jake that it was looking a bit inappropriate and to ask Sydney to tone it down, but he said that Sydney is just a bit childish and is that way with everybody. Well, at their last day, we decided to host a dinner party for everybody. During the party, I was with Jake when Cindy came and told me, "Oh, I need to steal your husband for a while." And before I could say something, she grabbed Jake's hand and took him for playing games. I ignored it since it was their last day, but then throughout the dinner, she was getting way too close with Jake and would just drag him away whenever I would be around while giggling at me. When everybody sat for dinner, I sat beside Jake and Cindy came last. She then said, "Oh, there's no seat," and then just went and sat on my husband's lap. Everybody was surprised and Jake said, laughing, "Cindy, stop acting like a kid. You're not a kid anymore." Cindy started laughing, saying it was a joke, and got up and sat on another seat while giggling at me. Yeah, I was so angry with disrespect and with the fact that Jake was so cool with it, but I didn't want to say anything bad, so I excused myself, took my car, and went out. About an hour later, Jake called me asking where I was. I told him I'm going to my friend's house and I will come after Cindy has left. I know what I did was terrible, but I was so angry at that time that if I had stayed there any longer, I would have probably started a fight or crying. I came the next day and Cindy and her family had left. Let me just stop here. Quick break. Sounds like OP's husband is clearly enjoying the attention that he's getting from this Cindy girl, because had he not, like, imagine if OP was doing this. Do you think if a random man was sitting on her lap and being too touchy, do you think that he would be like so understanding? Babe, it's not a big deal. This is just how he is. Ugh. I just told my husband he needs to maintain a distance with Sydney. He asked if I was giving him an ultimatum. I said if he will go as far as discard and disrespect my feelings for Sydney, this really rubbed my husband the wrong way. And he said since I have such disgusting thoughts in my mind and is giving him an ultimatum anyways, then he might as well leave because he cannot live with such an insecure person who has such disgusting thoughts about him. He packed a bag and left to his mother's place. I have tried apologizing numerous times, telling how sorry I am for everything, but he's ignoring my texts and calls. Oh my god, the gaslighting's killing me. Like, you are in the wrong and you're trying to gaslight someone. Like, he's basically trying to gaslight, gatekeep, and girl boss out of his way in this situation because he knows he's wrong. Later, Sydney's brother texted me and called me a bunch of names to think like that about his sister, saying Jake should just leave me and damn. And a disgusting person like me deserves to be alone. I could not stop crying after that. I don't know how to fix this. Is there a way to even come back? Was I so wrong to deserve this? I don't know anymore. Edit. People who are asking our ages, we are 25 years old, just months apart. So we have an update. Thank you all for responding and people who gave me good advice in personal messages. I couldn't read all the comments, but now I know my feelings are valid and boundaries were crossed by Sydney. Now during the dinner, there was Sydney, her brother Sean, and his girlfriend, and their cousin Derek, also a good friend of my husband, with his BF. So I called Derek and asked about the situation and what happened after I left. He was sympathetic and said that after I left at first, they thought I would come back after some time. However, things were really awkward. But when I didn't come back, Sean's girlfriend told Sydney that she was so disrespectful for doing that. Derek and his boyfriend also said the same thing. To this, Sydney started crying, saying that they didn't have to corner her and attack her over a silly joke, that she didn't know it would get so out of hand. She then left the room while crying. Jake didn't know what to say and everybody left early the next day. Derek also told that Sydney has always had issues with boundaries, and when he introduced his boyfriend to everybody, Sydney would get too close and would joke that she was just checking if he was really gay. They were really uncomfortable with it as well, so Derek confronted her, to which Sydney rolled her eyes and said they can't take a joke eventually stopped. This all sounds so bizarre. I don't know what's going on with Sydney. Sean's girlfriend also texted me saying she was sorry for what happened. I told him how Sean's message was inappropriate, but she had no idea about the text, so I sent her a screenshot and asked her to tell Sean to not harass me again. She was very apologetic and said she would talk to him. Now my mother-in-law called and asked what was going on, as Jake didn't tell her and only said we had an argument. I was a bit hesitant to tell, but eventually told everything. She was furious at my husband. She said they will be coming to have a talk. So yeah, I'm just waiting for them to arrive and really nervous. I don't know if what I did was right or wrong, but we will see. As for people saying my husband is some pedo or they are having an affair, I know this is the farthest from the truth. I never questioned his intentions, but what hurt me was the lack of respect from Cindy towards me. I mean, I don't understand why we're only focusing on Sydney. If I was to be married and my husband was letting some random woman touch on him, grab on him, sit on his lap while he thinks it's a normal thing. It's not normal for someone to sit on someone else's lap, whether you're a man or a woman. That's literally harassment. Like, no, that's not how that works. And Sydney is very weird. She's 18, yeah. But she needs to learn boundaries, because she's gonna do this with the wrong person one day, and she's gonna learn why she shouldn't be sitting on people's laps unprovoked. Like, it's disgusting. Like, I don't understand people who just lack so much. I mean, I know 18-year-old is still young, but when I was 18, I wasn't touching, grabbing, or sitting on anybody's lap without their permission. That's weird. Like, she needs to be touched. She needs to be taught consent and not to touch random people, to not touch people and not to sit on people's laps. Like, I understand people, like, what's the disconnect? Don't touch people that don't want to be touched. I mean, I don't think they're having an affair per se, but I wouldn't be surprised, because OP's, every time we read one of these stories and the man is, or the woman is like, it's not a big deal that this person is crossing boundaries and touching me unprovoked, like, da, da, da. It's always an affair. OP should sleep with one eye open, honestly. But yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Bye.